Morning, everyone. Welcome to the craft store. Jamie Rodgers, welcome to the craft store.
Good morning, thank you. It's a joy to be here with you all.
You remember your way around? Found
Just
it
about,
okay?
Yes, just about. Yeah, I did pull up in the car park and have that awful moment. I said to Pete, do you think they've moved studios and we're in the wrong place? He was
Yeah.
like, no, this is the right one. We're all
It feels a
right."
bit like when you go back to your old school.
Yeah, it does a little,
You're
yeah.
like, where was my locker?
Yeah.
What if you moved the lockers? That was my form room and now it's a science lab. Who knows? Anyway, we're very excited that you guys are watching the craft store on Facebook, on YouTube. A lot of you are as well. And welcome along, Jamie. 2 shows today.
Yes, two different collections.
Different collections. Yes. So now, which is 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock? Have I made that up?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, definitely made that up. Okay, 2 o'clock. We'll come to 2 o'clock in just a bit, but let's get straight into it. We're going to break it down for you. This is one of your best-selling collections.
It is, yeah, and just back in stock.
Excellent news. Listen, we'll have a shop around, by the way. Oh, here we go. Now, as you know, at the craft store, you shop straight to the website that's on the screen, jamieonthecraftstore.com.
I know.
That's
Great question.
That's worked out very well.
Yeah. Just happy coincidence.
It was already there, just waiting. When's the craft store coming back?
Just to go to got them for everything.
Our favourite. So, if you want to order this, or the individuals, or lots of different pastes and things, you go to jamieonthecraftstore.com. Lots to talk about that, by the way. After that website, when you're on there, there's loads of different places you can shop for your stuff, isn't there?
There is,
there?
yeah, it's all about our stockists. So that's the brand we like to support our stockists. There is a link to our stockist list as well. So all of the bits that are on this show today and the one later are, of course, all available from our stockists too.
So whilst you're shopping there and getting the best possible price, have a look around, mark down your other websites that you can get Jamie's stuff from. I know we're going to go through it individually, but give us a little insight into what's going on with that. It's our mechanical collection.
This is our mechanical collection, yes. So what I really wanted to do is bring you a mechanical collection that kind of worked for every occasion, every person, and went all across the board really to give you. I tend to think when we talk about mechanics, normally we just kind of go off on the tool idea or the car idea or the steampunk idea.
Yeah.
So with this one, what I wanted to do is bring you a little bit of everything, but it all works. So the backgrounds, the corners, all of those sort of dressy up elements, so you can take it off in lots of different ways.
And I feel like, now you know that one that's just passing there with the big with the diamond in the middle, it could be really lacy if you want it to be. You could go really dark and steampunky and bring your gilding flakes in. I know you've got a lot of paste and different tools on the show, Jay. But you know what? If you want to make that to be like a doily and quite floral, you can do it that way.
Of course you can. This is our corner die set. So there's 4 different dies in there actually as your corner intricate lacy parts. And then you choose where you put them. So in the middle, we've just put them all together, but you could tile cut that into a much larger background if you wanted to.
Nice, nice, nice. Now then, everybody, all of the individuals are in stock, being brought back for this show on the craft store. Do shop direct. You can see it on the bottom of the screen. jamieonthecraftstore.com. And all of these products we're talking about right now are all there. All of 2 o'clock's products are there as well, I presume.
They are, yes, yeah.
That's worked out very well.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get straight into it. You've got your iconography you just saw there from All Things Steampunk. We're going to look at that in just a second. But please do get ahead of us. Shop on that side of things. Also, whilst you're on Facebook or YouTube, you've got your own Facebook, you've got your own YouTube. You do lots of different things on there too,
just search for Jamie Rodgers Crafts. We turn up everywhere.
Everywhere, honestly, cannot shift for Jamie Rodgers Crafts. Let's have a close look. We're going to go down the counter right now because let's take a close look at some of the individual elements that are there. First of all, Steampunk Essentials.
Okay, so this one, as you can see, gives you all of your steampunk elements. Now, you're going to notice this giant big square here. Now, every single die set in this collection has a different size square with it. And this was my way of bringing you a nested set of dies without bringing you a nested set of dies.
Okay.
So it literally builds up. I'll show you a little board shortly of how they all come together. But basically, all of your elements come inside the outside square. So it gives you the key with the chain, the fob watch with the background part or the clock mechanism to go with it, a lovely pipework corner. You've then got a little steampunk hat and a steampunk ship to give you that full-on steampunk vibe.
And just to say, if you've got your...
Cool?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you've got your darker colours. Maybe it's like that lovely sort of burgundy down there, but bronzes, golds, your waxes. I know we've got some glitter. Hey, listen, we've got lots of glitter to throw at it in the show as well, haven't we?
Yeah, so if you want to make it a bit more sparkly, you absolutely can do. This one's built on top of one of our MDF hearts. Another one here just bringing in our metallic inks, just focusing in more on the
I like that watch.
This is cool, isn't it? So again, building up the fob watch area with the 2 different pieces, adding on the chain, bringing in the key on the side here. Another cool
I said that
one,
wouldn't be far away from glitter, would we?
So yeah, a little bit of glitter going on here over the cogs as well. This is a smaller cog die that's coming in to sort of come out and fill in our fob watch as well.
Beautiful. So your steampunk elements are in there. By the way, give us a hello. I know a lot of you are watching on Facebook. We've got Natalie saying hello on YouTube.
Hello.
Sue saying hello on YouTube as well. We see you. I'll fire up the phone in just a second to get more comments. But
we see you.
We see you. She's like, what do you mean?
You're here.
Sorry, in my pants. We don't actually, but you know what I mean. So thank you. We always love that your comments. If you're watching on Facebook, say hi. Welcome Jamie along. Why not? Now then. Cog background.
Yes, so exactly. This is our essential background, got a nice large format die. The cogs in this actually match with the individual cogs as well, so if you wish to cut those out and layer them on top, you can do. This one has 2 dies in it. You have that outside edge, which again can be used on its own as sort of your second set down in the nesting set.
Yeah.
But it also means that the die will stay in your cardstock too. So if you actually wanted to cut this as the very front of your card and leave it in place, you can do, or you can trim it out with a different die or guillotine.
What do you call this edge?
I call it the cog edge, because we do a postage stamp edge, so it's similar to that, but this is our cog edge, and the cogs actually fit within the teeth, so you can build
It can actually make its way around?
It can do.
Because if you haven't got that stamped edge, and this is maybe you're going to look on Jamie on the craft store, or maybe you can look on the other supplies that you use, you might find that stamp one. If you can't or haven't, this is a stamp.
This is a brilliant one. Yeah, exactly. And it also, all of the squares that we're bringing you throughout this collection work with our other square dies. We'll talk more about that in demo.
Yep.
But if you've seen our other nested squares, they will all interchange with this set. So this again is just showing you how you can use the panel in its entirety. You can cut bits out of it, so you don't have to use it as the size it is.
Yep.
You can go very sort of mixed media-esque with it and build it up, or it can be the background behind a larger panel. So there's loads of different ways we can play around with this.
There's a lot of metal coming your way there, isn't there?
There is.
A lot of metal in there. So there you go. That is your cog background die set. And again, maybe first time round you went for an individual and you want to then team it up, or maybe you want to go for the whole mechanical collection together. You absolutely can do. If you do go for it all together, you've got over £15 saving on this show. Lots more masks, stencils coming up in just a second.
I never know
the
which
word.
is
Yeah,
which, so I just go with either, but we class them as stencils.
Yeah, I think.
But then I think we call our mini ones mini masks. We sit on that line of confusion too. I know there is like a logical answer to it, but it's never
the line of confusion is very apparent between me and Jay on this show. But listen, it doesn't matter. Now, we just saw actually a card earlier on showing some of the racing essentials in there. This is cool.
Yeah, so again, we're down to our third size down in our nesting squares. And then for our die sets, we've got our hot rod, our racing car, our motorbike, our petrol pump, our flags, our champagne bottle, and our little trophy as well. So there's many racing bits in there as we could possibly fit.
Listen, I know we love our florals. Absolutely, Jay, you do it so well. But if you're making to sell or to give, after all, every other person generally is a chap. Now, I know I'm being very typical in that sentiment, but you know what I mean. If you're making a card for Barney, my son, he's 5, he'd probably love a racing car rather than a flower.
Exactly.
Who knows in the future? But you get my point.
And then you've got all of your sort of passing our driving test cards and things as well. You know, there's loads that we can do.
How cool's that?
Sort of cards and bits. Very simple, very clean, just showing you how we can colour in. All of these dies, I don't know how well you'll see it on your screen, but they've all got deboss detail on them. So very easy to go in and add colour to. So that one's just adding some detail with some alcohol markers.
Think about that hot rod.
This one again, the little flames cut out in the middle there, so very easy to go in and sort of piece back together and build up.
I call it a hot rod. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
With that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you called it before. I'm with you. Absolutely. Oh, a Norwich City car. Thank you very much.
Of course, very cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very cool. But again, you can colour code these to whatever teams and bits you support. But yeah, bringing in our race car, adding in our little champagne bottles. Motorbike, again, built up here just to show you how easily that is to sort of achieve as well.
Maybe someone's a mechanic, maybe it's for a chap, maybe it's for a lady, maybe the F1 season has just started again, so maybe it's a checkered flag and the trophies and things. Yeah, maybe that's what you like to do, then absolutely, why not? Right, let me pop this down for you and move on to our cog corners, Jay.
So our corners are great fun because with this one, what we actually receive is we get 4 pattern dies. These are our filigree dies. They're going to actually stay in place. So they've got separate outside edges. The outside edge comes to us what we class as our X die. I'll show you this again when we play with it. But the X die will cut the backends to go behind them if we use that on its own. And then on top of that, we've got another size in our nested set of shapes to build those up with you as well. And
then really complements the previous cog borders as we just spied, or any of the other elements coming up, maybe go along with your stencils you're going to spy, or maybe other stencils like our bubbles or...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it certainly doesn't have to just stay within one collection if you don't want it to.
And again, with the pink elements you can see there, you'd be forgiven for thinking at first glancing, oh, it's just very lacy, very floral, you know, if you want it to be, but of course it is cogs when you look closer.
I love the way that we can take steampunk off to be sort of feminine. We can take it off to be our Christmas cards. We can take it off to just about any occasion and any person, can't we?
Very, very cool. Right, there you go. They are your corners, and we continue on now. 2 more die sets to show you that are included, and the stencils coming up in just a second.
Now, this one is probably our best-selling die out of this collection especially. This one, again, is one that's just come back in stock. So if you've been looking for this for a little while, we do have it back in stock currently.
Are you handy?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. I destroy a few things. I've been building a lot of flat packs this week. I can do that.
Well, there we go. And
I can
what, so
ignore instructions and build a flat pack.
Your dad pad with an Allen key? Then
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, endless flat packs this week. But actual proper decorating, I'll find people who can do that.
And listen, you can't fix it if it's not broken. So if you're doing the first half, you give someone the chance to fix it.
Yes, exactly. It's a little
So
mini project.
really, it's a service you're providing.
Exactly, keeping people employed.
Exactly, quite right. How cool is this? Maybe it's for Father's Day, maybe it's for Mum, maybe it's someone doing like an engineering degree or just someone's hobby.
Yeah, or like you mentioned, Barney, it could be a little toolbox set of tools.
Absolutely.
You know, it could be quite colourful and playful if you wanted it to be. Again, when we think of new home and bits like that, this could come in quite nicely for those.
This is cool with the pipe work from the first one we saw.
Yeah, so absolutely mixing and matching across the whole collection works really well with this.
Oh, I like the sort of. How have you done like the
So that's
like
black
plating in the
card.
background? Yeah.
So I believe this one's done by Ian. I'm never very good at remembering who's done what.
Ian,
brilliant. So Ian has taken our black cardstock, he's gone over with our metallic inks, and then he's put it onto a scoreboard and just scored in boxes to make
That's cool.
Panel. Cool, isn't it?
Ian, really impressive. Now, that could be decking, couldn't it? It could be like some sort of wood, if you want it to be. Well, actually, speaking of which, Ian.
See, Ian was
read your
there.
mind.
So again, off making the tools. Again, these are great to cut and lay out. There's lots of deboss on here, so very easy to see and follow. This one's just a background made up with them instead and done a bit of inking over the top of them. But these are great for making borders and bits too.
So the DIY essentials, if you missed out before, because they haven't been in stock, I appreciate you said the best-selling ones individually. This show right now you can, and you go on that website, jamieonthecraftstore.com. Now that is a very special website just for these two shows, right?
It is. It's literally a little pop-up shop just for the shows here, and it will close tomorrow night at midnight.
So therefore, if you want to go shopping, you absolutely can do. But whilst you're there, check out the stockists that are on there because you've got a lot of information now. People want to keep shopping with Jamie. You can support your local stockists as well. So it's a lovely twofold for that. So thank you, Jay, for putting it all in one place.
It's all right.
We are continuing on though, because then we go into our pure cogs, if you like.
So yeah, these are our mini cogs. So these are the ones that are going to cut out and match up with that background die we had a little look at. So if you want to focus in on some of those, you can do. There are 2 dies in this set, but as you can see, you actually cut many more items than just the 2 pieces.
It looks like that. There you go, see the metal.
Anytime we're doing delicate small dies, I'd prefer to put them on one plate for you, so you're not losing little pieces. I've spent far too long hunting around the floor trying to find one die. So if we can put them on a plate that's easily found, we will do. You can cut that out and then you can infill the pieces back into it if you wish to.
I see a bit of embossing in the background. Can you see that?
Yeah, so that's our stencil or mask, whatever you wish to know it as, coming up shortly. Done in the background, and then the cogs put inside the frame. The frame, of course, is achieved using the nested set that comes with this one.
Very impressed with that.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just shows that these cogs can be taken off.
Hey, listen, so if I got a brad or 2 on the go, and you were saying these cogs could actually move around the full board, they could be moving within there, you can have loads of fun with that.
Of course you could, why not, yeah. This one's one using our glitter on a self-adhesive sheet, just die cutting and putting on. This is really cool. You've got to have a little look inside the box. So on the outside of the box, we've got the cogs going around the outside of it. When we open up the little box...
Oh, hang on.
This is amazing, isn't it?
Is it a hat?
There is a little steampunk hat.
How amazing
and again,
is that?
You're seeing the cogs going around the side of it. You've got the chain coming in from the steampunk set as well, all coming together. And it's all been coloured with the metallic inks we've got coming up on the show.
Metallic inks, we've got glitters, we've got all sorts of your ink pads, haven't we? There's a lot going on this show if you've ever missed out, or maybe run out of those elements that we're talking about. This show is the one. The address is on the bottom of the screen, jamieonthecraftstore.com. That is very, very cool. We continue on, all of these elements.
So this is just to show you all of the outside edges. So if you was wondering what I was on about them nesting and creating your own set, this is what I mean. So this one from the beginning here, that one's from the first cog set. This is the largest one from the steampunk set. All of the others are the ones in the middle.
So that border can be as thick as wide as you want it to be or as thin as you want it to be?
Absolutely, and we can cut not only the outside, but we can cut the inside, and you'll then maintain that same cog edge to it, and then your cogs can literally fit onto that if you want to, and you can make up little patterns and borders within those if that's what you'd like to do as well.
I am with you. Okie dokie. Let me pop this down. Shall we talk stencils?
Absolutely. So this is our cog background stencil. It's an 8x8 stencil. Anytime we're doing stencils, we'd prefer to bring them to you on a large format, and you can use smaller bits of them, then bring you small ones that are fiddly to use. Now, of course, we can emboss these as well. So sending them through our machines with our rubber mats means that we're going to get great embossed effects with them. We also cut all of our stencils or masks out of a thicker mylar to what most companies use. So when it comes to embossing them, you're going to get more depth from them. When we use them with texture paste, again, you're going to get more depth to them as well.
That feels great, by the way, this texture paste.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it really
beautiful.
does keep its depth, which is what we need.
Oh, I love that. Happy retirement. You made it. Get in, past the finish line. Absolutely.
So again, just showing you how you can build this up with all the different sort of collection elements to really sort of fit in with that cog theme.
It's really cool. Goodness me, I see it all the time. People, and again, I'm being stereotypical, I know. People asking for mail cards, if you like, something for uncle, something for dad, something for the grandson or whomever it is. Of course, it can be for anybody. So if the granddaughter loves her motor racing and really helps you out when you're tinkering on the bike or the motorbike or whatever it is, going to Speedway, whatever you fancy, monster trucks, absolutely. But if you don't want to do that, if you want to bring in your floral elements, if steampunk is a thing, but you know what? I understand why I'm calling that steampunk. I understand what I've just said. That makes a change. But if you didn't know about steampunk, you think that's just really cool iconography, isn't it?
Just pretty.
It is just pretty, absolutely, bringing in the flowers for you. We haven't finished there. It's a big collection. This, by the way, keep watching, by the way, because, of course, Joey in Storage for Crafts is coming on next as well. So
lovely cabinets.
If you want to store anything, that's coming up with 20% extra off for you. Thank you, Craft Store, for that. We've got our mini cogs.
Yes, so these are the same cogs that we see in the little die set, the same cogs in the backgrounds, but enlarged to be bigger masks.
So is this...
So this is taking those masks, putting them out in a line and embossing it through our machine and then bringing in some inks and rubbing them over the top. Very easy, very achievable, but quite a cool way to make a larger background.
These are cool, and then say whatever you've, then I get it with, I see the corners coming into play here.
Yeah, same idea as the card behind it, but this side, instead of going diagonally, just going across it. The next card is bringing the same ones in, laying them down, bringing in some misters and misting over the top, and then removing them.
I'm with you.
So there's so many ways in which we can use these. Of course, when we're talking to stencils, we can also do all of our letter pressing techniques with them as well.
Good point.
So yeah, loads we can achieve with these ones.
And again, if you want more of a feminine touch, as you can spy right there, you absolutely can do. Right, we've got a lot more to show you. We've got the... Are these those flowers?
They are those flowers.
Can we do one more then?
Of course we can.
Right, quick heads up, by the way.
Everything up till there was in your bundle.
Yes.
These are your sort of additional bits.
Okay, I'm going to bring that flower back here because these are other bits and bobs for you. First of all, is it rippled blooms?
It is rippled blooms, absolutely. So this is one of our most popular flowers, so I had to bring it to you today.
Thank you so much.
Again, one plate die, so we're not looking for any fiddly bits. It's going to do it all in one pass through. Not only do you get all of the different size flower heads, it also debosses on each of the petals for you. So like this card, if you want to bring in your inks and rub them over them to highlight them and bring in depth and texture, you absolutely can.
Now, if you're going for this, 100% go for the entwined leaves, right?
Yes.
And that's also what I see on here.
It is. So these are coming in the background around here. So these, to me, I always call these our twiddly bits because I always forget the name.
Yeah.
But it's, again, one die set of all these like fine twiddles that, of course, can be used all year round. I can't wait to do my Christmas cards with these. I think they're going to look brilliant.
They'll look amazing, won't they? So everybody, right now, whether you're going to shop right now, maybe you're watching on YouTube, on your TVs right now, search your Craft Store TV on YouTube, and then you can shop on your phone, on your laptop, whatever you're doing. But the web address you're going to, jamieonthecraftstore.com. You'll see all of these there, and all of those there as well, and a whole load of other stockists where you can keep shopping after this 24-hour period. Shall we get demoing?
Let's play.
Through you go, absolutely. Any questions about anything, by the way, about the, how was that card done? Or we flew over that finished sample, how was the hat made, etc., or any of like the glitters or the mists, etc., on the show? That's exactly what Facebook is there, and YouTube. You can comment along. I'll have a look in just a second.
It's one of the nicest bits, isn't it, about being live and sort of interacting with being able to answer their questions as we go through. So I thought what we would do to begin with is we will create this card. It's a very nice, simple, easy one. Nothing complicated, and it'll give us the chance to bring in our inks and play with them as well. Sorry, where am I heading?
It's right, he's got you.
I'll get better, I promise. So this is what we're going to do.
You've been saying that for years. I've been saying that.
I know, tell me about it. I think it's about 4 years this year. One day I'll settle in.
I still love holding stuff and doing this. This is a classic. So, Chris, go for a close-up on this. So I'm talking about this, and then just as you've got it. Oh, sorry, no, you've got it. Sorry, yeah, my fault. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. So there we go.
Well, we've got to the point that we're bored of it, haven't we? We've done our bit, but we forget. So, okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to bring in and cut the gold panels to go beneath the card. So it's these bits that we're worrying about cutting. And we're going to bring in our different edges, because I mentioned earlier that we have our different nested sets of different dies. So this is our scallop square set, and when we do our nesting dies, we do separate pierced and stitch elements to go with them. So they're not attached to the dies like a lot of brands are, they're separate lines, so you can use them on their own. It also means that you can bring them in and interchange them through different sets. So although we're using the cog edge, which doesn't come with a pierced line, we're going to add the pierced line in from the other set.
Options, aren't they?
Yeah, we just try to give you as much interchangeability as we possibly can.
Interchangeability, here we go. Now, I fired up Facebook. Monica, Lisa, many of you are watching watching. Alison says, good morning, Jamie and everyone.
Morning.
Good morning, Alison. Joanne, morning, Jamie and Dan. Dee, morning, Dan and Jamie. Joanna, how fantastic do you have a pop-up shop, Jamie? Ingenious.
Well, we're trying.
That is what Joanna says. Yeah, Margaret says, good morning. Janice says, morning, Dan and Jamie. That's from Janice. Angela says, good morning. Hazel. So Hazel Mason says, good morning, everybody. Monica, Angela, Lynn, Caroline, Wendy, Margaret. Loads of you are saying hello. That's purely just on Facebook, with even more of you watching on YouTube. Quick shout out, by the way. If you're on YouTube, you'll see 2 pages. One's called The Craft Store, the other one's called The Craft Store TV. Go for one that says The Craft Store TV. One is live, one isn't. You go for the live one. That is us in the right place. And thank you for watching, by the way, because as of last week, we got to 1 million views.
That's mad.
On Facebook alone. From the first 5 weeks of the new Craft Store, over 1 million of you have tuned in, so thank you very much.
That's an incredible achievement. You should be so proud.
We are proud. And I was like, you
Genuinely.
sure it's a million? No, that feels like a lot of people.
That's a huge number.
Yeah, so well done, guys.
Huge.
Supporting the suppliers directly, that's what we're all about.
So we've cut out our background panel, so we don't need this one. We'll pop that off to one side. And I've gone ahead and I've brought in our cog background and I've put round it the same cog edge. So don't forget, it doesn't have that attached. So if you don't wish to use it as a cutout, you wish to leave it cut in, you can do. We're then going to bring in some of our metallic inks. Now these, of course, are on today's show for you.
They are.
And we're just going to start taking the inks and brushing them at random over our background. So I'm starting off at the moment with the brushed gold. This one comes to you in the original collection. There is a new collection as well, and we've of course got that on the show for you today as well.
So we've got the original, which is this one, then we've got the Summer Fresh Metallic ink. So black suede, royal purple, sea breeze blue, silver lining, brushed gold.
Correct.
Super.
And
Thank goodness you made me this cheat sheet, Joe. People at home thinking, he's prepped.
You know what you're doing, you don't need my help. You don't need my help at all. So what we're doing is just going to build up the colours in the background. So we've already gone in with some of the gold and the silver. We're going to add in some of the black, and we're just going over the top of this. Now the black over the top of the black card, you might think, well, why do we need that? But it'll take the soft black card and give it a metallic finish and just help give that little shimmer, which is what we're aiming for. Now you can do this with a blending brush if you prefer. I never mind if I get a little bit of contamination, not the end of the world. But if you'd prefer to do this with a blending brush or an applicator tool, then of course you can do that.
Whilst you're doing that, can I quickly show you guys at home the colours we were just talking about there? So these are they.
These are they.
These are they. You can see them here. You've got an extra £5 off, by the way, so it's $29.99. You can get them individually if you'd rather. But the shimmer when it hits the light, and just to show you, is that the right, is it upside down? Nope. Nailed it. How divine are all of those together? We have that Summer Fresh, and we'll talk about that probably later on, but these are those originals that Jamie was just talking about. Lovely colours.
And then today we've also brought you the brand new re-inkers as well.
Brand new re-inkers?
Yeah, they've literally been out like a week or so.
Which one?
Literally.
The originals or the summer?
Both. Yeah, we excuse me, we did our original link pads. Oh, I'm never very good as a memory. Honestly, it's shocking. I'm going to say like September, October last year, maybe.
Yeah.
So they've been out a little while. And then we had to wait for the re-inkers to come in. And the re-inkers, the new ink pads and the re-inkers to go with the new ink pads all come together like a week ago. So they're all literally new.
There you go. So on that website there, Jamie, on thecraftstore.com is where you can find your re-inkers.
So all I've done now is I've taken my panel and I've just padded it onto a matching panel below it of the white card. So again, white card cut using the same outside edge. We're going to bring this into our card blank and we're going to foam pad this on top of that gold panel that we'd already created. So we're just building up and building forward. We're then going to cover up that middle part. So I've been a bit more messy with my tape because I knew I was going to be covering up that central area. So we're going to bring in another one of our panels created with one of the cog edges. Now I'm going to go off by memory now, and I believe this is the one which comes with the cog panel, size-wise. But you've got all of the different ones.
Let's say in the collection you get them all. So
not vital. We're going to place that down, and then we're going to add a bit of white card over the top of this one as well, just to match in the white of the card blank and the white that's coming through from underneath the cogs.
Natalie says, hi Jamie, so lovely to see you on the Craft Store. That's from Natalie on YouTube.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie.
Lovely to be here, genuinely. We're going to add on a little birthday wishes at the top. And then our motorbike, I've done exactly the same with the motorbike. I've cut it out of black card. I've coloured it with my metallic inks. I've also done a gold one and just drop shadowed it behind it, just because we're going to match in the different gold elements that are running through the rest of the project.
Can you drive a motorbike?
No.
Ever tried?
No.
No desire?
No.
Not your thing?
No.
No.
I'm
that nice?
quite resilient at driving anything else. Nothing bothers me. Vans, anything like that.
Yeah.
Countries, I've driven lots of countries, no problem. Just close your eyes and hope and go. But
Yeah, that's how
motorbikes-
driving works, Jay.
yeah.
Absolutely. Just
Motorbikes have never. No, that's never.
it's really
That's
skillful.
scary. Yeah, I don't. I think I'd just fall off.
I was on I was the best man for my best mate's stag do, and he wanted to do a motorbiking holiday.
Okay.
Now I can't drive a motorbike, so I had to get my little provisional, get that done, and then went off, and he's been doing it for years, and all his mates, and got like the skill level for that.
Yeah.
They're so good.
It must be quite a lot of core strength, isn't it, to try and
Oh,
steer
even
it?
just to
Does
stand
that
up. The bikes are
work?
heavy. Bikes are heavy.
Yeah.
Actually holding them up themselves. That's where all my power went.
Okay.
I was
Yeah,
like,
no, I've got no. Yeah.
can we stick to the roads? They're like all off.
But was it really exhilarating? Was it,
No, it
a
was-
different experience?
It was
to a
more
car?
scary than exhilarating for me.
No, okay. See, I'd probably be petrified.
Yeah, I was.
Go karts are probably as close as
Go-karts, and we can nail
go-karts I
that.
can
Maybe the
do.
next collection.
Yeah.
By the way, just quickly recap what we did. Thank you, Jay. And I'll do a little recap, and off we go. Here we go. To get the idea, again, Jamie, for all of your products, whether it's the re-inkers, the stencils, the dies, your stamps, etc., we can make and sell if we want to.
Of course you can, absolutely. We encourage it. Yeah, we want you to make and sell as much as you can, whether that's for your own profit or for charity. It's neither here nor there.
Where we go. Now, before I fire you up for another demonstration, yeah.
Like the oven.
Yeah, like the oven. Just get him on 180. Everything's 180, right?
Takes a while.
Can we look at the re-inkers?
Of course
Just
they
remind
can.
ourselves of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of course they
Come
can.
with me, friend.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we can even play with them a bit if you like.
Here we go, because so this is the summer side of things, and these are what are new.
They are, yes. There are 5 brand newest ones as such, colours in ink pads and colours in re-inkers. I actually kind of regret that we've labelled them as re-inkers because there is so much we can do with them. When we call them a re-inker and you think of them just going to refill an ink pad, kind of puts them in one pigeonhole, but actually we can mix these into loads of different things. We'll play in a second.
So I don't need to have the original pads?
Absolutely
for all
not.
of
No,
these
I
things?
think we should have called these something like metallic drops or something.
Next time.
And then told you that you could use them to refill your ink pads.
So they are 101. You can use them into and away we go drop.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
on their own, they're a tool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is the whole summer fresh side of things. And then next to there, we've got the original,
Yes.
the original 5.
The original 5, yes. So they're again perfect for re-inking your original 5 ink pads, but again can be used completely on their own.
Here we go. So there you go. You can spy them all there for you. I mean, there they are. Perfect. I mean, that's something like that. Anyway, I was being very, very quick. We're going to go straight back to demo after all. We're not even halfway through the show yet. Just to FYI, let you know. Go on, Jay, let's walk back.
Come on.
We can do whatever we want. We can walk all over there if you want to.
Okay.
I mean, don't. The lights are off. You know, we're saving on bulbs. But nevertheless, keep your comments in. Keep saying hello to Jamie. Busy day. We've got Emmy B coming up later on. She's streaming in from her own studios. Storage for Crafts got a further 20% off their lines they're bringing in the studio.
Wow.
Then a further 15% off the rest of the website purely for the craft store. So if you want to organise any room of the home, really, the next hour with Joey is the one for you.
So just quickly, because
Yes.
we're going off on a bit of a tangent, but I quite like doing that.
Go for
That's
it.
not a problem. We're going to bring in, this is just some clear texture paste. We haven't bought this to you today because we've been honest with you, it come out, it's sold out, we're waiting for more to come in.
What?
I think it's due in about a week's time, so
Okay.
we might be able to bring it to our next shows.
Okay.
We're
You're
then
back
gonna-
on the 31st, right?
We are, yes. We're then going to bring in our re-inker. So we're going to use the Sunset Red. So again, thinking of re-inkers, you're thinking that you're going to take this and you're going to go to your ink pad and you're literally just going to take it over the top. And we can do that. There's no reason we can't. That will rejuvenate our ink pad. And
Is
then
that literally all I need to do?
that'll
That kind of
Yeah, just
little swipe
literally a
over and
few
away?
lines. Mine are new pads, so I don't need to do it too much. But yeah, just a few lines and leave it to set for a little while. You can go straight into them, but if you was to apply this to a stamp, you might find it's a little bit blotchy. So if you can leave it a minute, it'll just absorb in and then it'll give you a better effect.
I'm with you.
But of course, we can do more with them. So bringing them into our clear texture paste.
Oh, look at this.
Suddenly,
Delicious.
now, not only do we have an ink that we can blend with, we can stamp with, we now have a texture paste that we could use over that same project. So it means that we've now taken our product and we've gone off into a different direction with it and got more value for money out of it straight away with that one use. So if we bring in a stencil...
There are certain tones in it, aren't there, depending on where the peak is, and really cool.
So straight away, we have got a texture paste that is now going to work as it is. Now, on today's show, we've also brought you some glitters.
Yep.
So maybe you want to take your glitter and you want to add this in instead. And we're talking about texture paste, but this doesn't just have to be texture paste. I often go on about this, but if you treat all of the items we bring you as ingredients to your recipes, instead of just treating them as standalone items, the things you can create with them are endless. And I think sometimes we're slightly scared to do that, or we forget that we can do that. But now we've got a sparkly texture paste just by sprinkling in that glitter. If we did either of these and we don't like them, or we want to do something different, then I'm just on some copier paper here, but we can take that away, we can flip this over, we can use the other side, and we can reuse that and put it into a new thing.
Yep.
Never be afraid to sort of just play and explore and see what you can create with them.
Christmas is when that's really Christmassy when he was looking on there.
Yeah, well, it is,
gold glitter in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, because you can see that sparkle coming through, and it's just out of a couple of components that we've already got. So that's one way we can use it.
Now, they are your gemstones glitter bundle, by the way. An extra couple of £1 off just for this show as well for you. Helidor.
So if I bring this in, there your glitters, yeah.
How do I say that word?
Heliodor.
Heliodor.
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Don't listen
I'll
to
come back
me.
to it. There's rose quartz, black onyx, argentite. Yeah, Helidor is a gemstone.
Gold.
Gold!
Gold and silver.
Never. Okay, keep going.
So this is all of the different reinkers put into the clear texture paste. So it just shows you how every single one of them can now become a clear texture paste. And they'll keep that dimension, they'll keep that
it's really
depth.
tough,
I've
isn't
just
it?
put it on with a spatula and sort of zhuzhed it a bit so you end up with a bit of texture to them. But it now means that you've got 10 texture pastes out of that. Now maybe you don't have clear texture paste, maybe you've got our gemstones texture paste, because we do a gemstones texture paste. So this is white, the white one I think is called diamond white. So again, all 10 of those reinkers added into the coloured texture paste instead, or the glittered texture paste. It doesn't have to be clear, it could be textured. Or maybe you've got our glue that we've brought you on today's show.
This glue?
Yes, this glue. So
That'll last, won't it?
that will last.
Is this the same glue in here?
It's the same glue. So this is your big bottle to refill, and then you've got your small bottle. So we do genuinely sort of encourage you to go for the small bottle first of all. This comes with its ultrafine nozzle, and it also has its protective top to it, so there's no fear of damage.
Yep.
You choose where you snip the top to, so you can go as bold or as thin as you want it to be. Some people like to flood with glue, don't they? And other people are so frugal, so it gives you the choice of where you want it to be. But if you're going to a crop, or you're going out, or you just don't want to have to try and unblock it, you can pop back on your top over there and it'll keep it nice and fresh. I'm going to be honest, we've had this glue and we've been testing it and working with it now for not far off of a year, and I've never had to unblock one.
Wicked.
They do not block. And we have this lovely lady, we call her our glue lady, Alison Smith, who may well be with us today. And if she is, she will tell you in the comments that she left her lid off of her bottle for 4 days and it still didn't block, which is a great little thing, because there's nothing worse than having to keep unblocking them.
It just halts everything, doesn't it?
Bath.
We're not
So yeah, so we start off with our small bottle. That's 125 mils of glue in there. And then when you do need to, you can refill from the big bottles, and the big bottles are the equivalent to 8 of the small bottles.
If you do workshops, if you're a teacher, maybe do scout groups, maybe you just want to shop once this year for your glue, this is where you go, isn't it?
Exactly.
Love
money saving.
Absolutely. Okay, so then just
you're
going for a fine snip?
Yeah, we can always cut further, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
If you want to.
This is true, you can't put it back.
So again, if we bring in our glue and we place this down onto our mat, we can then bring in our reinker and we can mix that into our glue. So the reinkers would only go, and I never get this right, but we're going to say porous surfaces, ones that are going to absorb it, so yeah, porous. But I never get that around the right way.
Honestly, the amount of times I've stood next to people with something like non-porous surface, I'm like,
Just one of their things. But if we mix it with the glue, then we've got that bonding agent. So it will go on to your acetates, it will go on to your mirror cards and bits like that. So if we bring that part in, and we bring in a brayer, for instance.
Oh, I love this, Jamie.
Yeah,
Just gone 11:30, by the way. I will, after this demonstration section, I will go back to the big collection and remind you of that mechanical bundle that is in. The 2 o'clock show with Jay is different to this one. That's more very architectural, isn't it?
Yes, so we're playing with some beautiful building stamps and some DL stamps in that one. So you don't have to do it this way. You could paint it on instead. So if you've got some lovely open dies that you want to create like a stained glass effect with, that would work. But if we bring that in and apply it over the mirror card, that's now going to dry on there where it wouldn't have in the bottle format. So again, think about mixing it into your glues.
If you did it really finely, then obviously the silver would show through even more, and that will shine texture through. Like a...
Because if the glue goes on white, you're going to see a little bit of the cloudiness. When it's dry, this is a different colour to that one. This is the purple, royal purple. This is the sunset red. But you do see that silver and that shimmer come through from under it.
Very cool.
So think about die cutting, adding your flowers onto it, embossing, stamping on the stays on, whatever you want.
Yeah,
and that's just a couple.
There. And that's my surface on a non-porous.
Whatever way round
shiny,
it, maybe.
Right, Jay, shall I let you clear up a little bit?
Okay.
Uh-oh. We'll find that back. I'm going to wander this way. I'll come back, I promise. But this is the point of what we do here on the Craft Store. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Dan. Good morning. I know a lot of you are watching on YouTube. You just search for the Craft Store TV. There is a Craft Store, but search for Craft Store TV. It's the live one. Over 100,000 of you subscribe on there. We'd love it to be even more of you because this show here will live on there forever. Or the Storage Crafts one will forever. Or on Thursday, we've got Craft Buddy coming in. Sandra from Sandtangle coming on Thursday as well. There's loads of new suppliers all coming to one place, which is the Craft Store after all. Jamie, for his first show, brought back one of his best ever selling collections. And many of the individuals have been sold out and are back in stock for this show right now. You shop on the website on the bottom part of the screen, jamieonthecraftstore.com, jamieonthecraftstore.com. That is a pop-up website only for basically this 48-hour period. And on there, every product we're talking about here, the glue, of course, the 2 o'clock shows as well, the re-inkers, the inks, the dyes individually, the stencils, of course. If you want to get individuals, you absolutely can do. But on there as well, you will find Jamie's official stockists. So you check out the other websites on there too. You support, that's exactly what Jamie does. He makes sure he supports everybody he works with and encourages you to go shop there. But putting them all in one place is kind of what we want to do here on the Craft Store. All these brands are in one place. All of Jamie's stockists are in one place. jamieonthecraftstore.com. That's where you see everything. Now, maybe you want to go down the steampunk route. Maybe you want to go down the more lacy floral route that we showed you with the samples. Maybe it's for the little ones who are into their motor racing. Maybe it's for uncle or dad who, or auntie who really is into DIY or gardening and fixing and being in the shed. And that's their absolute ilk that they love to do. If it is strictly steampunk, goodness me, you are away with the top hat, the pipework, the chains, the cogs, the keys, the flying elements for you. That's all very, very steampunk, and that's what you want to have in there because you want the iconography to really identify with that genre. It hasn't got to be like that at all. It can be really lacy, the mats and layers. And as you spied, all of the square dies in here do fit inside each other. So you also get a bonus nested set of cogged edge or stamped edged nesting dies as well. Now, I'm going to ask Jamie how ready he is. Hey, Jamie. How ready are you?
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Right, come back with me. Away we go. And by the way, if you do end up going on thecraftstore.com, which you are entitled to do so, you can sign up for our newsletter there, by the way, to see exactly what's going on. Lots of information coming your way, and you'll see the schedule, and you can watch live.
I need that in life. That's handy.
Yeah, this is handy.
Little backup, so I know what's going on in the world.
That's what I do.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to play around with these tools a little bit because I think these are great. So we've got our one plate die. I think there's something like 20 elements on here if I remember rightly. But you've got your saw, your paint brushes, your tape measures.
That's a bit like you were saying about the cogs. Like if they're smaller dies, you put them on one plate.
Who wants to be searching for a square head for the next 6 years? Because I would be. That would head to the floor.
That actually happens in real life, doesn't it, when you're doing DIY?
Exactly, yeah, let alone a little die of one.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely. If we can put them onto one plate, I also think we get better value for money because we wouldn't normally position our dies that close together, as close as we can do if we put them on one die. So we're going to get more value for money out of our card stock. We're not going to have to search for things, and everything's going to cut for us as it goes through. Now I've done this in Mirror Card because I wanted to share with you that as these cut, they're also going to deboss for you.
Nice, isn't it?
So here we can see where our labels are going to go, where our different sort of fixings are going to go. So if you want to go in and snip off and add different colours over them, whether you want to go in and colour them, you can do. All of your markings are done for you and everything's cut perfectly. Even the bristles on the brushes are marked out to make it nice and easy for you to see where you're going to add your paint colours.
Love that.
Or your bristle colours.
Very cool.
So yeah, very easy to work with those.
Really fun actually colouring these in and deciding what colour they're going to be and who they're going to be for, how many you're going to do.
Exactly, yeah. And you could go after a brand if you wanted to. It could look like you were sort of doing a brand style of tools. There was a stage where we could get lots of pink tools, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So, you know, that more sort of feminine look for them. Why not? It's all up to you. All I'm going to do is just bring in an alcohol marker and just go over the top of them. My tip always is if you're colouring a die cut to do it over the top of black card if it's a white die cut, because you'll see if you've missed any edges a lot quicker than if you're doing it on white card or white paper. We tend to pick up white paper, but if you miss a bit, you don't see it till you put it on your project. Where if you're working on top of black card, you'll quickly spot if you're
I really like how, because they're so fine, of course for colouring in like we're showing you now, but if you've got that scrap of mirror cardstock or iridescent cardstock and you don't want to throw it away, it's too much, but I'm not going to do a matte and layer with it.
And you don't even have to be talking about the whole thing. You might just go in and say, well, actually, we're going to take the handle the handle off of here and put the handle on, or just put the head onto it. So you don't need to cut the whole thing if you're just going to use half of it.
Very cool.
And although the dies are all on one plate, if you do want to just cut like 20 spanners, just put the card over that bit. You don't have to do all of it.
I want 20 spanners, thank you very much.
You might. I keep thinking these, and I haven't really done it yet. Somebody has, I can't remember who, but somebody did it and showed us how you could spell words out of these, because they're quite a nice size.
Yes,
for
they
that.
are.
They're not too big. And there's a scrapbook page down there that I've done them as a border going all the way around the page.
Where might they be?
It's on the top shelf.
Oh.
It's an 8x8 scrapbook page, and I've just put the tools going around the frame.
This one?
Yeah. So again, think of your borders, think of your frames, think of your wording.
Cool, isn't it?
It can be anything.
Really cool. Yeah, you can easily spell out someone's name, happy birthday. That's cool.
If you want to.
Yeah.
You certainly don't have to.
If you don't wish them happy birthday, just put it's your birthday. No happy.
Birthday. No happy for you today.
You have a birthday from me.
You have a birthday, that's it. So we're going to try and do this quite quickly just for speed, but we're just bringing in these pieces.
We've got 15 minutes, Jay.
Oh, that's good.
Not to rush you, just to keep you in the loop. I said you could keep an eye on the clocks in the studio, but
that's all right.
50% of the time, one's right.
One's right. One's right somewhere.
Work that out, yeah.
Is it this weekend they go forward?
Is it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Is that true? If you're in the comments right now on Facebook or YouTube, please answer that.
I think it's around now.
Ready for that.
Why are you so excited?
Because I'm
what
bored
am I
of
missing?
winter.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Oh, it's the 30th, which is a Sunday.
Oh, it's not far though.
So when you're coming over...
So when I'm late, we know why.
When you're late, okay.
When we know, yeah, we've got why. Okay,
right.
so very simply done, just a little idea there. And I know like we all like to do different size cards, so this again is a great one to take off to whatever size, shape, style of card. It could even be a gift tag if you wanted it to be.
Couldn't it just? There we go. Now that is just purely from one of the dies, by the way, in the DIY Essentials collection, but that is part of the greater mechanical collection. So we're going to quickly show you there. We'll get ready. Let's go straight into another one if we can. Have you got another one?
Of course I have, yeah.
Wicked. I'm very aware of the time people want to see you in action, Jay. In fact, I will quickly remind you here, because that is everything you're getting home. But if you have just joined us, that was very close. All of the individuals are in stock, which hasn't been the case. So this time, for the first time, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 individual elements. If you purely want to go for the stencils, you want to go purely for those DIY dies that Jamie was just saying are the best-selling ones individually, you can get hold of them. The best saving, the most money you'll get off is by going for the full mechanical collection. There's about £16, £17 saving there for you. And I really hope you are, whilst you're on Jamie on thecraftstore.com, you go for the re-inkers, you go for the ink pads, or maybe the glitters, or maybe the glues as well. After all, everything on this show is all in one place on that website on the bottom there. So that's where you look. For example, next hour, Storage for Crafts, you've got the pricing. Craft Store, you've got a further 20% off those. We've got all sorts of the huge units, the smaller ones as well. Across the rest of the website, you've got a promo code for you there to get a further 15% off. So the point of me saying this is, thank you to all the suppliers who are on today for us. There are extra savings purely with the Craft Store because you are shopping directly. They aren't sharing half to this person and half to that person. It's shopping directly, so every single penny will go to Jamie and his team. Right, there might be 15 minutes left. I don't know, Jay, we'll keep going till I'm told to stop.
Okay, fair days.
Let's go.
So this is the card that we're going to do next. So we're going to bring in the flowers, and we're going to go a little bit more feminine with our sort of tool idea.
Why not? Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So for this one,
Really
nice
pretty.
and simple, we're going to start off with one of our pebble grey card blanks. We're going to build up from there with our white card. We're then going to bring in more of our pebble grey card, and I mention our card colours because this, of course, is all available from our stockists. I know we've mentioned our stockists previously,
Yep.
but our elite card is a great collection of card stock that we've not bought for you on today's show, but can of course be tracked down if you'd like it. We're then going to bring in our rose petal pink card, and we're going to layer this one up, and then we're going to go back onto that lovely mechanical background of the cogs to make our focal really.
Now I'm very lucky I can see what's coming, and I can see the big, this one here in Jay's hand now, how it's see-through. So that background, could be photos behind there. It could be a really cool mixed media, dark gold, like scratchy surface if you want it to be.
You could bring in a die set and cut out the centre and have it as a frame. So if you're into scrapbooking, it could be done like that if you'd like to. This one again, so because it doesn't have an attached edge, I've actually put it in the neck size up of the cog edge, and I've added in a pierced line from our scallop square set, so that it's just making more of a border to it. Then in the middle of this little concoction, we're going to bring in another panel, and we're going to be adding that into the middle, but I've brought in one of our square frame dies, and I've just created the frame to go on the top there. I've done this already for speed, but it just means that we've got that same matching white and pebble grey that we've seen throughout the rest of the project.
Now, Julie has commented saying, morning all, is the bike, Jamie, die, please? I think, is that where the bike die is, maybe? I'm going to get the board. And
That's in the Racing Essentials set.
Racing Essentials, yeah. Julie,
That
I hope...
helps.
There it is. I hope that's what you're asking. And by the way, all the full prices you can see and all of the savings are all on, yeah, because Janice is also coming in saying, where are the prices, please? They're not on the screen, they're on the website. So that's where you can see everything there and your extra savings after all. Alison is saying hello, by the way, saying she bought some of your mirrored cardstock, which is amazing. Karen saying hello, Peter saying hello, as is Shirley as well, Samantha, and Julie Jones has just tuned in.
Hello all.
Hello, Julie.
Lovely to have you with us.
Indeed it is.
So I've gone ahead and I've just placed some of the tools inside the little square. We're going to bring in our rippled blooms. Now again, this is the flower set we've bought for you on today's show. It's all debossed ready. So when we come to shaping this one, there's a few ways we can do it. We can leave it as it is. We can start rounding our petals out if we prefer. Another thing I like to do with these is just pinch them. And you can pinch them up or you can pinch them down. You can also bring in your tweezers and you can actually sort of run around the petal and add more detail into those crease lines that we've already created for you. So with my ones, I've gone for the V going upwards, so a rounded petal, and I've just done those already, and we're going to bring these in and we're going to put them over the edges. I've also added into the centres little screw heads just to try and bring in that tall
you know what, that's lovely.
Well, they're them little
little
finishes that can really sort of work together.
Aren't they just?
But then they're also going to bring in our entwined leaves, and we're going to place these going around here as well. So I've got a couple of these to bring in.
So you're being quite cunning of the placement of a foam pad.
Yeah, so foam pads are going to be the anchor bits that are going to hold down our twiddles, and they're then going to hold on our flowers. So they just sort of protrude out the sides of them. And there we go. There's our card. Another simple, easy one. Nothing complicated.
Oh, apart from holding it up.
Stand.
I'm going to put all three of the cards that have just been done in this show together to get the idea that how different do all three of these look?
Well, this is what I wanted from a collection, that we could take it off into so many different ways. You know, the middle one might be a little bit more childish, if that's what you wanted it to be. Possibly a little bit more adult with the motorbike, a little bit more feminine with the pink one. So it's up to you, isn't it?
Speaking of up to you, Jay, this is your show.
Go on then.
Either we can do another, if you've got one planned, or we can go remind people. Neither is wrong.
What do you prefer? Don't give me choices.
Oh, really?
I'd have us here for like 6 days trying to work it out.
We've got
Should we go show them samples?
There we go, okay,
show
good.
them samples.
Let's do that. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to want this. Right, Jay, come with me. We've got 8 minutes, it's all good, don't worry. We'll go all the way down, maybe down the counter, we'll get them here. Because a good point, Jay, with the samples that are around us here, do treat yourself at home after all, because you've just nailed it there. Whether you want to do like a tag side of things, and that's ATCs, then you've got the tools in there to do so, or the smaller cogs. Like, if it was a massive cog, it's quite hard to break that down, because you've got the smaller ones there. You can actually do a whole, almost like looking into a timepiece or like a watch, couldn't it?
Could do, yeah. I love this little set here that Wendy did on our GT, where she's put 5 cards together and then put them into a little box. And in the box is the matching envelope, so you're giving the gift of giving handmade, which I think is lovely, because not everyone likes to make handmade, or can make handmade, or has got there yet, but actually giving them that ability to then hand these cards out throughout the year for any occasion.
And the appreciation that they're like, you, like Wendy, or whoever it was, like, has given me this card, and they've taken the time, and they've cut it out, and they picked the cards that have picked the colour. Or it could be a whole thing that you offer to make and sell. Like, okay, it's for Uncle. What's his favourite colour? What's his football team? You know, whatever it is. Yeah,
you can make him a little box for the whole year if you wanted. When you stopped at 4 or 5, but it's down to the depth of the box. You could put 100 in there if you want. Every occasion you could think of.
Yeah, this is very, very true. I'm going to put that die set back. I hope you can see, because then on the bottom row, wherever you want to go. And listen, let's talk steampunky for a second. It's called mechanical, so yes, you are. It's huge steampunk presence at the NEC this year.
Was that?
Really cool. There were stands, there were people dressed up, obviously, as well. Yeah,
cool.
It was really, really fun. And me, when I first learnt about steampunk, I thought it had to be darker tones, your bit of gold, bit of metal, absolutely. But there was like flashes of pink and neon.
Okay. That's cool.
So I feel like listen, maybe I'm behind the times, but whatever colour you want now that you can embrace, even if it's like a dark art of steampunk, you can do whatever you want, right?
There's no rules.
No rules, thank goodness. Rightio. Right, Jamie, whilst you can see the full display here, just give a little overview of actually what we get home in the big collection.
Okay, so if we start on this top line, you've got your racing essentials. So I grew up into banger racing and all of that. Like, I loved all of that. Yeah, I love.
Is it still going on at Yarmouth track?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't get to go very often. We did go last year for like the first time in 4 years.
Never
and sometimes
been.
on your doorstep, you don't do it, do you?
Correct.
And then you're like, I've got to do it. So yeah, a little bit of racing inspired into this one. Then we've got your background to go with them. So of course, that real true background to build everything up on, no matter what ones we're looking at. Then we move on to the steampunk set. So again, you've got your spaceships in there, or your airships in there. You've got your keys, you've got your pipe work, you've got your lovely steampunk hat. The clock mechanism's really cool because we can use it within the fob watch or on its own.
Yeah, I get you.
Then down below that one, we have got our cogs, and they're our mini cogs, which again have got the smallest outside edge for our nesting squares.
Oh, just to double check. There you go. There's a die set. I know you've got the stencils are also matching
We have.
up well.
I was going to do the stencils at the end.
Yeah, that's fine. Keep going with the dice.
Aren't they? Then in the middle one, we've got our cog corners. So they've got so many tricks to them because not only can we use them as our corner elements, we can tile cut them into backgrounds. We can even do them as a borderline. We can put them into all of our nested shapes to make our nested shapes look like they've got filigree corners to them. There is so much we can do with that one. Then we move on to our tool set. So again, about 20 items in that one, I believe, by memory. But all of your different screw heads and tools that you're going to be needing. And of course, one of the outside edges. So they're your different die sets, 6 in total.
Nice.
And then you've got your 2 stencils. So if we start off here with our largest one, this is our cog background stencil. So your 8x8 stencil, same design in cogs as what we've got in the background die set, but just slightly enlarged. So again, you can layer that throughout your projects if you wish to. And then lastly, we've got our mini mask cog stencils, which again gives you a whole little bag full of different cogs that you can letterpress with, you can mist over, you can use them to emboss with. There's loads we can do.
I like the samples. It shows like yeah, lots of colour and sprays and mist, and then
Yeah.
just peel them off and you've got a whole different background, which is very, very cool. Right, yeah, that is the mechanical bundle for you. Under £100, £17 off, plus your P&P, and away you go. And you shop for it all, jamieonthecraftstore.com. Jamie, let's meet at some ink pads if we can.
Okay.
We're going to go all the way back because you've got the ink pads and the re-inkers ×2 with the original and with the summer side of things. Let's look at the original first if we can.
So yeah,
What
this
these
is
are,
really
right?
where we kicked things off.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got your 5 original colours. We have got here the royal purple, the brushed gold, the silver lining, the sea breeze blue, and the black suede. So these inks, there's so much we can do with these. These are water active, so if we put them with water, we can turn them into paints and bits like that.
Nice.
But once stamped, they're waterproof. So once dry, we can go in and paint over the top of them, they're not going to bleed. The bit that bamboozled me and many people
Yeah.
is that they're also alcohol marker friendly. So normally we would imagine with a pigment ink that they're going to bleed. These ones do not bleed. So if you wish to go in and stamp and then colour in with your alcohol markers, you can do that as well. They're also acid free, so we can use them in scrapbooking. They're also pigmented, which means that we can heat emboss over the top of them.
Rightio.
But they also dry relatively quickly, which again is a bit of an odd one. So if you do wish to just leave them, they will set quite nicely. And they're also great for blending as well. So they really are an ink that can come in for just about everything you want to do.
If you order these originally and you want to refresh yours, you've got the re-inkers are in stock, but of course the re-inkers are very much a tool.
They are, yeah.
You don't need the pads to make the re-inkers
They're just
work.
an ingredient that we can use in
Yes.
so many bits. One I didn't even show you, maybe we'll try and do this on the later show, but it's just taking an empty water mister bottle, putting a couple of droplets in and creating your own misters. So when you start thinking that you can use these for your texture paste, you can mix them with your glues, you can mix them with water, you can paint with them, you can make your own misters. Honestly, endless options.
Very,
and there'll
very
be
cool.
more products that come out throughout this year that we'll be able to add these into because we keep building our ingredient library. So there'll be more and more and more coming.
So they are your originals. And more did come,
Yes.
which is these are our, was it Summer Burst?
Yeah, some are fresh
Fresh?
summer, something like that.
Maybe I made up that name.
We did, but it's just trying to give you an idea
Ooh,
of
here we go.
the fresh, colourful carnival style colours, really. So in this one, we've got fuchsia pink, sunrise yellow, cactus green, sunset red, and minty fresh.
Minty fresh. Isn't that spectacular? Really cool, ready for the summer. Imagine colouring in your, the rippled flowers with either blooms if you want
That'd
to.
be
or something
lovely.
complete- yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, whatever you'd rather do. But again, just going to put that down, the ink pads in their own right. You've then got the re-inkers there too, which is really fun for painting with and for doing it. As if this is the sort of thing that we were mixing with glue, mixing with
Yeah.
the texture paste, right?
Absolutely.
There we go. Right, they are all in stock for you. We've just got time for our glitters. I love the vessels of your glitters, by the way.
They're cool, aren't they?
They're
like little
really, really
perfume
fun.
bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are an ultra-fine glitter, very, very incredibly sparkly. They're the same glitters as what we put into our Gemstones texture paste.
Yep.
So I tell you that because that means that the colours of texture paste are also available, so that it gives you that freedom to use your loose glitter and your texture paste to create different effects. Yeah, these are great. You can stamp on them, you can die cut them, you can sprinkle them over your clear texture paste. You can add them into your Gemstones texture paste in other colours to make new unique finishes. You see that we were sprinkling these into the clear texture paste in with the re-inkers. We can do that. They're perfect to use with our self-adhesive sheets as well. And you can also mix the colours as well, which is something I think we sometimes forget. So if you want to make like a rusty coloured background, then mixing all 4 colours together over a self-adhesive sheet, then die cutting things like your cogs out of them could work really nicely.
Love it. Jamie, with 30 seconds left, you nailed the first show.
Oh, thank you.
Done
Enjoy.
it.
It's been
Perfect.
lovely being here.
Glitter everywhere.
Yeah,
Now we're going to go and put these all over Joey's Storage for Crafts products, and away we go. So 2 o'clock, you are live.
Yep.
I know a lot of the accessories will be there, but a different big collection,
Yeah,
right?
loads of new stamps. Our latest release, literally come out like last week-ish somewhere.
So that is 2 o'clock today, so set your reminders for that. But don't go anywhere. Right now, of course, JamieOnTheCraftStore.com is where you can get ahead of actually and look at 2 o'clock if you want to, but you shop there for all of Jamie's products. We'll be back in 5 minutes' time with Storage for Crafts. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.